Hello friends, this is Durga again from IT University, a one-stop shop to learn all the technologies. At this time we are talking about HDP Certified Administrator or HDPCA in short. We are talking about the exam syllabus. We started with provisioning 6 servers on EC2, and then we have configured HDP yum repository server on the Bastion server, and then we have configured local HDP repositories on each of the node in the cluster, and then we have installed Ambari server on the Bastion and Ambari agent on all of them. And then as part of installing HDP using the Ambari install wizard, we have seen how to add several services starting from uh, HDFS, then yarn, tez, pig, hive. So we added one service at a time. Okay, so most of the important topics I have covered in detail about their architecture and how the service is added. And then we added a new node to an existing cluster. We decommissioned the new node added, and then I just create a small video on adding a HDP service to a cluster using Ambari, because most of the core components such as Hive, Pig, Tez, Scoop, Uzi, HBase are already covered as part of install HDP using the Ambari install wizard. But as part of the certification on the model exam on the certification exam lab, there is a task to install the services. They're expecting you to add Storm and Kafka to the cluster. So even though we have covered quite a bit of services, we have not spoken about Kafka or Storm. And also, if you actually go to the Ambari server or Ambari wizard or web interface, and when you click on actions, when you click on add services, there are many technologies in the list, and understanding the architecture of each and every technology for the certification might not be practical. If you look at this practice exam question, they are just asking about installing the services Storm and Kafka, and they are giving the details about where to install what. In this case, they are saying install all of the services on the Hive server node and install the supervisor process on node 2. So we are using only two nodes, and we need to just understand the term and or map the terms between what they have asked in the question with the servers on which they want us to deploy. You don't need to understand what Storm and Kafka to accomplish this task. Okay, so if you go here, so I will go ahead and set up Kafka and Storm as requested in the practice exam. The main thing you need to understand is, even though you learn all of the core components, they might go and ask the additional components such as Kafka, Spark, Storm, etc. But they will give the details about where to set up what, and you just have to set it up using Ambari wizard. So in this case, we will set up Kafka and also Storm. Okay, once you choose those two services, scroll down, click on next. So here they are talking about the masters. You can see that Kafka has only one master, which is Kafka broker, and Storm has UI server, and Nimbus is part of the Storm, and also DRPC is also part of Storm. So Storm has three servers or three masters. One is DRPC server, other one is Nimbus, and the other one is Storm UI server. And Kafka has only one master, which is Kafka broker. And if you go to the task details, they have asked us to set up all the services on Hive server node, which is automatically chosen here. If it does not choose Hive server, then you have to change it. Sometimes something like Nimbus, which can be deployed on multiple nodes, they might ask to set up Nimbus on multiple nodes, and then you have to click on this plus and then choose the appropriate node which they have mentioned as part of the task. In this case, they have asked us to set up all the services on Hive server only, except the supervisor but supervisor is not in this list. So what you can do is make sure whatever is highlighted to be deployed on Hive server, because they have asked to deploy them on Hive server, and click on next. Once you click on next, now it is asking to configure the supervisor. Again, supervisor is a component of Storm, but you don't need to be even worried about to understand for which service it belongs to. They clearly mentioned to set up supervisor on which instance. Again, you go to the task, they are asking to set up the supervisor on node 2. So go here and choose supervisor to be deployed on node 2 and click on next. And they might sometimes they might ask to configure certain parameter. If that is the case, you have to search for it as part of the filter and modify that parameter at the customized services layer. And once you finalize the changes, you can just click on next. In this case, they haven't asked us to update any of the parameters, so we just choose this one. And also, when they ask you to update the parameters, they will explicitly say for which service the parameter needs to be updated. Okay, if you click on back, again it will go to the customized services. If they ask you to modify a parameter for Kafka, you have to choose Kafka here. It is automatically chosen Storm here. If they ask you to modify something on Storm, and if they give the parameter name, search for that parameter and try to modify. If it is Kafka, click on the Kafka and then search for the parameter which needs to be modified, and then you can click on next once the parameters are modified. In this case, they haven't asked us to modify any parameters. And then click on deploy, and now it will try to set up as we have configured for master, slaves, and once the installation is done, we will review the cluster. If there are any services that needs to be restarted, we have to restart those services. So now the installation is done successfully. Click on next, and you can read the warning. It says that if it shows this circular arrows, you need to restart those services, and click on complete and let the page refresh. And then it is asking to restart the Ambari matrix, so just click on this one and then restart all affected, confirm restart all. Now the restart is done. Let us refresh this page. Yeah, no need to refresh, it is automatically refreshed. Now there are no restart icons, and all these services are available on this cluster at this time. And if you look at add service, still there are several of the components which are not added on the test lab or certification exam lab. There is Flume, Accumulo, Scoop, HBase, etc. So they can ask any of these services to be added, and you don't need to worry about the architecture. Just follow what they have asked in the task and try to implement accordingly, instead of thinking too much about oh, I don't know this service or that service to be added, and most likely you will be successful in completing the task. Okay, but that being said, I will try to cover the architecture of each and every component as part of the other Hadoop administration playlist which I have, but it will take time to do that, to complete all these technologies. Okay, so if you like the video, please click on the like button. If you want to provide the feedback, please use the comment section of the video. So far we have covered quite a bit of tasks in the certification. we are going in series. We have started the services, commission a new node, install the services. This is almost 70% done, and after that you have rack awareness, and then resource manager high availability, and decommissioning a node. Decommissioning a node is also covered as part of the curriculum, but we haven't done as the task in the certification, which we will do it toward the end of the course or after completing most of the topics. Okay, so by using the knowledge which we have understood as part of the first topic in the certification, we have covered almost 70% of the topics, 70% of the tasks. And if you want to discuss further about the certifications, not necessarily Hadoop certifications, please join my LinkedIn group called ITversity minus certifications. And if you want to discuss further about big data, please join my LinkedIn group ITversity minus big data or hyphen big data. And finally, if you are not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. You will get to see a lot more content like this over time. Thank you very much. Bye.